What are you expecting, Mr. Ed? Welcome to the Iowa Barn Tour. Good morning, everybody, and greetings from Fairfield, Iowa. Welcome back to the house, welcome back to the channel, and well, if you're new to joining us, I'm Rich.
And I'm Kendra.
And well, we're trying to restore this cool Victorian house. And it's been a couple of weeks since our last video, and that's because, well, we hosted a barn tour. And so for those of you that came by and saw it, I hope you enjoyed your visit and got to see a lot of cool barns throughout Jefferson County. There's about 20 barns, I think, on the tour. And we had probably upwards of 1,000 people over the weekend. I think it was estimated numbers of like 600 on Saturday and I think 200 to 300 on Sunday. So I want to thank everybody for coming out and making it such a big success. So, but if you're ever wondering where our videos are or what we're up to.
Actually, we try to do it every weekend because, well, that's what we do. It's the weekend. But if you ever see just a short or a post, usually that's what we're going to do for that weekend. And if you don't see the post because you're watching this on TV, that's okay. If you go on your phone or your tablet or anything like that, you go to the YouTube Greetings from Fairfield on the YouTubes, and you go to our homepage, and it has all of the tabs right there. And so there's all, and then videos, and then shorts, and then community, and then posts. And,
right, and we'll usually always do a post to kind of keep everyone updated on, you know, special events we have here at the house with information.
Kind of like tours.
Yeah, history, behind the scenes, stuff that didn't quite make it into the video. It's always a fun place to put those things, and so you can always follow along there if for some reason, whatever reason, we don't have a video. But that would be your go-to source to find out what's going on.
That way we're still connected, and if you do the subscribe and the ring notification, you should get a little notification. Oh, they did a post, or oh, they did a short. I don't really remember exactly what the different ones are, but it has to do with that, and that's why we suggest subscribing so that you know what's going on and that if there's going to be a video on Saturday or Sunday.
But with everybody that came through, you know, we actually got to learn a lot of things about the Carriage House that, well, we were unaware of.
Like what?
Well, for one, I now know what our torture room was.
Oh, do tell.
Well, it wasn't for torture at all. Well, back in its heyday, you dried corn. You'd pop your ear of corn right there on the nail so it could be dried out and planted the following season.
Is that how we got sweet corn?
It might be, probably.
I love sweet corn.
See, how cool is that? We wouldn't have known had we not signed up for the Iowa Barn Tour. So, you know, I want to thank everybody for that. And, you know, we got so many great stories of people that, you know, a lot of our YouTube viewers even came to stop in and say hi.
It was great seeing you, and it was so wonderful to meet you.
And one of our viewers actually had a really cool story. His grandfather is an older gentleman, and his grandfather used to come here to the house in the 1920s and pay our second house owner, Mr. Ball, his car payment for his loan for his Ford Model T. And so, you know, I had heard stories and read stories in the paper that the Ball family here had one of their endeavors was lending money to people here in town so that they could buy, you know, cars and improvements on their house and whatnot. And well, it was just kind of neat to kind of hear that story firsthand from someone that, you know, his grandfather used to come here to the house back 100 years ago, which was really neat. Anything? I actually hosted everyone out in the Carriage House in the smoldering heat while Miss Kendra stayed here in the cool AC and hosted inside.
Well, we turned the AC on the second day. The first day, everything was just open.
Okay. Well, did anything cool and exciting happen in here? Did you have any fun stories?
Yes, I do. I actually do. We put a bench at the top of the stairs because we didn't want people going upstairs since, as I told everyone, it's just the main floor we were doing. And
yeah, there's only two of us. Can't have people running around all over the place.
Yeah, open up doors, open up
windows. If I'm outside.
Yeah, you were busy outside. So there was a little boy who got upstairs and goes, "Shark!" And I was like, yeah, that means don't go to the second floor. Come back down here.
Gotta watch out for them stair sharks. Old houses, they'll get you every time. Was that it? Anything else cool and exciting?
No, I finally got to meet the neighbor.
Ooh, really? How was he?
Angry. Very angry.
Oh, why was he so angry?
Well, I got a story. I was telling a story. So I was telling a story, and I had about 30 plus people all around me. And the front door opens up, and this guy comes running in, and he's like, where's the owner? And I'm like, hi, I'm the owner, thinking he's a guest. And he just started yelling and spitting and yelling and spitting. And what I could figure out is there was a problem with parking. And I told him, oh, we do the parking at the high school or anywhere it says don't park because you can't park on this street over here on D Street. And he then got louder and angrier and called me stupid. And I suggested at that point he should go talk to my husband who's in the Carriage House because I was, well, it looked like I had a lot of guests right here since I was actually in the middle of a story when he started yelling at me. And he got very, very upset and he goes, it's illegal and I'm calling the cops. And I said, okay. And when he was leaving, a couple of gentlemen did say, whatever, Karen. And I'm thinking, oh no, I better keep an eye on him and make sure he gets off the property. And then I saw him stomp across the street into the house across. And I was like, oh, that wasn't a guest. That was my neighbor.
How rude.
I know, right?
Apologies for the obnoxious, rude neighbor, which we've since dubbed Oscar the Grouch. Well, for obvious reasons. And, second reason, not so obvious, in case you didn't notice, he's never once brought his trash cans up from the curb. They sat out there 365 days a year ever since we moved in. And so, well, if you did get a parking ticket, I mean, the police did show up. He never came out and talked to me, but the police did show up. They were patrolling up and down the street, but probably saw all of these people just sort of coming and going and realized it was kind of pointless to get out and cite tickets, I guess.
Well, I hope that he didn't. If you did get a ticket, please let us know.
Let us know because on Monday morning, well, I called our city councilman and set up a meeting with the city planner at City Hall. And so on Wednesday, I'm going down to City Hall and see if we can't come up with a remedy so this doesn't happen next time.
You should probably run for mayor.
Mayor. But we did get this cool, really neat plaque. A metal plaque, Award of Distinction. So we got that from the Iowa Barn Foundation. Thank you very much. And so the Iowa Barn Foundation, well, they help raise awareness and funds to, well, Iowa barns to keep them from, being torn down. And so, they help issue grants for restoration and preservation. And so, it was proud to be a part of, helping that. And, well, if you're interested in, seeing what you can do to help save some Iowa barns, I'll drop their information link down in the description so you can see what you can do to help.
Because we did the tour so that we could clean out the barn, but it really is helping a lot of people.
With all that behind us, it's time to get back to work. And, well, one of the most frequently asked questions we got out there in the Carriage House, has me curious. So, well, we're going to take a look at that next.
Oh, there you are. Hey, honey. What you doing?
Doing a little discovery.
Little discovery, huh?
Yeah, since we had that barn tour, we had all those people come through here. The most frequently asked question is what this rail was for. And, well, I had no idea.
I have no idea whatsoever. I've always wondered, what is that for?
Well, with all the experts that came through here, there was a lot of theories. One of which was a carrier that you would roll down a track to clean out the horse stalls, which kind of makes a little sense. But on one hand, the horse stalls were all on this side of the carriage house, which meant you'd have to carry whatever you were cleaning on this side over to the carrier, and then you'd be taking them all the way out to the front of the house, which doesn't make a lot of sense. If you were cleaning, you're already at the doors. So that didn't make much sense. And then somebody suggested, boy, those are old big screws in here. But see, I've never really been able to get up here and look at this thing. And there was one really tall guy. He was so tall, he reached up there from down there, was able to touch the top of this rail. And he goes, "Oh, you got about a half an inch of rail back there. There'd be enough room for a pulley." Now that I've got room, have this carriage house all cleared out, I can get a ladder up here, and we're gonna take a section of this down because I also realized these are in like 4, 5, maybe 6 foot sections. They fit together like a jigsaw puzzle. And it's possible, maybe, that there is a manufacturer or make or mark or stamp on the back side of these things. Hell, maybe we can help identify that, because this is Loudon machinery country out here, and so they were the main go-to for farm supplies, barn supplies, and modifications, pulley trolleys, and hay lifts, everything else. So there's a good chance that this would be a Loudon rail. Then we can match it up to a set of pulleys and run along this track, because I do have a theory of what it was and why it's here. Like I was saying, we had so many people come through here, and they were touring over 20 barns all throughout Jefferson County, which is the entire surrounding Fairfield area. And like I said, everybody was really curious about this. And one of our visitors had gone to another barn that had almost the exact same thing. And well, it had a big, giant door attached to it. Then it started to make a little more sense. Had these big barn doors blocking this side of the carriage house, because at one point we had another horse stall over there, and the painting stops to a certain point, somewhere around up in here. And so this whole section was definitely separated out from the rest of the barn. But that would beg the question, why? Well, if you're Mr. James A. Beck and you buy yourself a brand new tally-ho coach, you're going to a place to store it. And although this was a nice brand new barn, you had at least 3 horses, and you need a place to put it. And you know, the last thing you want to do is drive your new tally-ho coach off the lot and bring it home, park in your garage. But you got horses kicking up dirt and making your brand new coach a pretty dirty mess. And so it's most likely that that door was to seal off the nice brand new coach. Close the doors. Then the coachman would come, open up the doors the next morning, wheel out the carriage, hook up the horses, and away you go. Of course, a couple of months after he got that brand new tally-ho coach, he took it right down the street here and got hit by the train. Destroyed that brand new coach. Killed both horses. But, well, lucky for us in the house, Mr. Beck jumped to safety and he survived. Also curious if that was original build, like because I see some paint on top. I'm curious if it's painted underneath. That's only ever been painted once. Did you see the floor?
Ooh, looking good.
Looking much better than screen doors. Let's throw a couple of pallets down there.
Those are so much better than screen doors. So much better.
You wouldn't believe all the stuff that I've found down there. Just leveling it out. I was afraid to dig any deeper. Yeah, time to get this stall cleaned up. And I just started raking some of this so we can make room for our pallets. And look at some of this. I found some more pottery, and this stuff is actually really cool.
It's a little house.
And we have a maker mark on the back. Company Alcritons, England. So we'll have to research that. But it looks like the same blue. Looks like it was part of a cup or something.
Ooh.
And it's printed on both sides.
Ooh.
So that's kind of neat. That's kind of neat. That's there's probably more where that came from. But from the size of that base, it looks like a small teacup. But check this out. So I'm just barely scraping along, not going deep at all. And I'm finding, besides a lot of broken glass, I'm finding old rusted chains that are like linked into a shape.
That's probably a horse thingy.
Yeah, it probably is a horse thingy. But they're all through here. Like here's another one. We might have to break out the metal detector. There's another one. That one broke. It's attached to something. But they're all weirdly linked together.
Is that glass?
There's a ton of broken glass here. A ton of it. Some of it's colored.
It looks like a beer bottle.
It's thick. It's thick. Look how thick this piece is.
Oh, geez.
So maybe a little stronger than beer.
Oh, it's another big
That's a bottle. That's another broken bottle.
Oh, that's like a sugar bottle. Wow, lots of broken
But I mean, like, why so much broken glass in a horse stall? Right? That's not good.
Horse?
That's not good for the horse. There was something else here, though. I mean, besides broken glass, see?
Oh, is that the rest of the jade?
It sure is. It's that piece I broke.
No, it's a different piece you didn't break. It was already broken.
Well, yeah, it was already broken, but that's a big piece.
Yeah, there's more of it.
Yeah, there is.
Right there. See? More of the green.
More brown. That's a square. That's a corner from a square bottle and a little bit of a mark on the bottom, Paxton, but nothing more than that.
Why is there so much broken everything?
It's a milk bottle.
Oh.
That's a glass milk bottle. I mean, nothing really worth keeping, but I mean, what a mess. No wonder they just threw all those screen doors on top. But I mean, I'm not even digging deep. You know what I mean? I'm trying to just rake the loose dirt across the top to level it out, and I keep. There's that other big piece I kept grabbing more chain.
Why is there so much chain here?
there's something big here. There it is. That's a brown, that sort of tannish piece. So that's how wide the board was. And a top of some kind. That goes to that brown one. Or that
brown jug.
Little brown jug. Now this one has a whole thing on the bottom. Chicago. Acme.
Oh, really?
Creamery Packaging Manufacturing, Chicago, Illinois. Little
Milk bottle?
yeah, it could be. About a 1/4 inch thick. It might match. Yeah, it might match that one.
Wow, broken milk bottles.
Is that here? Well, they were big farmers. So both Beck and Bull. And so I don't know, you know, maybe this wasn't just a horse stall. Maybe they had a cow in here. You know what I mean?
I can see that.
So
Fresh milk every day.
there's it's just, what is that? That looks like it has something on it.
A large piece of plate glass.
Yeah, it's plate glass. It's fairly thick and flat though.
I could see that window being broken several times by a Porky.
That one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why these steel bars are on here. So you got these steel bars, so the horse doesn't back into it and break the glass.
Maybe they figured that out after it got broken one time.
Different one. It has a pattern on it. Maybe clean that up. It's like a leaf pattern or something on that one.
Oh.
So that one kind of neat. Once we get this kind of roughly done, we'll probably want to hit this with the metal detector. See if we can't pull us up any treasure. Some Bobby Dazzlers.
Pieces of 8.
Pieces of 8. You never. Oh wow! Look at this. This is a neat piece. It's like might be pearlescent, but it's
Oh.
that one's a little different. Different from the rest of this stuff. There's more of that blue. It's a bigger piece of that blue.
I put it over here.
Yeah, make sure that doesn't fall off of there because it'll definitely break. I'd like to see how much of that we can find. This one might be uranium, maybe. Either that or it's just really green glass. I'll have to hit that one with the black light. Might hit that one with the black light.
Yeah.
That one's ridged on the bottom. That's part of that same blue stuff that we were finding before.
Oh, look, there's more green right there.
Huh?
More green right there.
That's a big piece too.
Ah,
Oh, there's some pattern to it.
more green right there.
Oh, that little sliver, I'm not gonna mess with that.
Okay.
There's something, my rake's just kind of hitting something. That's a big piece. What is that? That's a really big piece. What is that?
More glass.
Oh, there's an actual big impression on it. This might, oh, there was a paper label on it. That's almost destroyed though. But this one, Old Boston. This one will be worth looking up. We'll rinse this piece off. This one's kind of neat.
Okay, put it with the other pieces.
Well, check it out. Old something Boston by Dr.
Ooh, snake oil. It could be a snake oil salesman stuff.
Maybe. There's a picture. There's a picture on it.
Okay.
Look at this. Now it looks like Jack the Ripper. Yeah, there's like there's a man's face in there. In the glass.
Weird. Alright, I'm putting it down here.
Nothing salvageable. Though I did find this one really cool, cool one that had enough of a label on that I was able to match up. Actually found one on eBay for 10 bucks. Of course I had to buy it. A 1930s whiskey, I think it was whiskey, bottle. How cool is that? Just we'll make a little display and stuff. We'll whatever glass and other bottles we can find. But not only did we find all that, we also found uranium glass.
Ooh. Ooh. Radioactive.
There you go. That was pretty cool.
Except that it was broken.
Well, except it was broken. So I don't know if we just found, if they were just burying all their garbage out here, or what? That didn't make any sense.
Why would you leave it indoors if it's garbage?
I don't know. Obviously, they didn't have a horse in there at that time. So that bottle, the earliest bottle that I found was the 1930s. 1933, I think, was the exact date of it. But the china, that china could have dated as far back as 18. Now I looked it up. I actually found the pattern. I'll pop it up on screen. 18 something, late 1800s, I think. 1870s, 60s, up until about 1940, they were still producing that. So again, it's right in that 1930s era. And so obviously they didn't have a horse in there then. But and then sometime, I guess in the 1970s, when they swapped out all those screen doors, they just used that to cover up all the broken glass, I guess. And been that way for the last 40, almost 50 years. That's crazy. That's crazy that was likely there for 50 years. Nobody looked. Speaking of those screen doors, we did make one really cool discovery. Because you see, when we were cleaning and getting ready for that barn tour, we didn't have, well, one of the problems we ran into, it rained all week. And so it kind of made projects outside a little difficult. You know, we left those screens outside in the rain. And I mean, that rain at times was really heavy. We actually got some flooding, not here at the house, but other areas of town actually flooded. Had flooded basements and all kinds of stuff happening around town. We were pretty lucky, but holy moly. What was I saying? Oh, screen doors. Well, you might remember last week's video, or it was a couple of weeks video back. We found these original screen doors buried in the carriage house, one of the horse stalls. And as Miss Kinder was power washing, we realized that, well, they weren't black. They were originally white. And they've been painted black later. And this one went on the back kitchen porch that we were currently working on. And we also noticed that they were a lighter, probably pine. A big wood expert, but I think that's pine. And they're light. And so we were about to get these up last week and put them up in the carriage house. So I was gonna have Kinder lift them up to me and I'll hoist them up for safekeeping. And we can look at figuring out how to restore them or rebuild them at a later date. But as I said, it's been raining all week. So they've been laying out here. we made a discovery. Because, as I mentioned, those were light. The other ones were heavier. You want to find out why? Follow me. Because that rain has not only been cleaning them up, it's been taking the black paint off. The reason why those were heavier is because that's oak, and that's shellacked oak.
Ooh.
And so these, the front doors, were shellacked oak. And that black paint isn't sticking to the shellac. It's coming right off.
Is that copper?
So this might be copper. That's why it's likely why it's all green. As you might remember, these were buried in the horse stall. And so so the lighter ones were definitely oak. Heavier oak. Now these, maybe we could take these apart and we might be able to reuse some of that. This lighter one here in the center, it's also smaller. And so it likely goes to the second floor and it's lighter. So that would be second floor balcony, most likely. But how about that? Did not expect that. That was just from sitting out in the rain all week. That is really cool, which will make it a little heavier to lift up there. We don't want them getting worse out here in the rain. And looks like it's gonna start raining again. So it's been like 5 days straight. And so let's get these up there for safekeeping. Apparently, our front screen doors were shellacked oak, and they painted the screens. They were lighter, likely like a pine, for the back porches. So we definitely got to do that now. Like that's
Is there any way?
that's a given.
Any way we can save you?
Not likely. Not likely. The problem that those screen doors had, well, they had two problems. Number one, sitting in the ground, being in the dirt and all that, the board started to warp. And because they were used as flooring and you walked over them, it broke the tenons in the joints of where they come together. And so using those again is not likely at all, which is too bad. But I mean, they're in nice enough shape that that we'll have a good pattern to match to. So we'll just have to source out some material, and I'll get a chance to buy me some new tools. You can never have enough tools. Look at that. We're almost there. Oh, I did miss one in the middle. Oh, I did that on purpose. Perfect.
So you put it in the middle after all.
I did.
See, you're so intuitive.
I had no idea.
Good stuff. Even your mistakes are good jobs.
Even when I don't even think I'm doing it right.
And that's why I love you. You're amazing.
Well, I know which came first, the paint or the rail.
Which one?
The rail.
Rail? Okay.
So they painted after that rail. Which on one hand makes sense. It tells me that rail's been there a while, because we know that paint's been there a while. And so this was not added on. After the fact.
Oh, it's starting to come. It's starting to move. Now, boom.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's put up in 1895, but I mean, maybe. I forget the date of that newspaper article for the Tally Ho coach. I'll be popping that up on screen though, and make that correction when it happens. And there it is. They painted right around that. So before they painted, this rail was already there. I mean, yeah, the rail was already there, and they painted around it. So, yep. The rail went out, then they painted. They painted around it. And so, and here, I'll show you how they interlock. So, then it goes into a notch. And so on the left-hand side, you've got your key. And then on the right-hand side, you got your hole. And they go together just like a jigsaw puzzle. And then,
Or floor.
yeah. And then, yeah, about a half an inch, just like the guy said on the back, of where that wheel would have rolled on that. So now let's get this into some light and see if we can't find a maker's mark on it.
Everything?
Yeah, so far I'm not seeing nothing. Of course, there's a lot of old rust and stuff on there. Not seeing anything yet. That's a bummer. I'll maybe hit it with a wire brush. There's a lot of dirt and crud on the back of this, so it could be that if it's a slight stamp, that maybe it's just filled in. So we'll hit it with a wire brush and
Do we leave it outside to see if that'll rinse it off?
no, you don't want to get more rust on it.
Okay, I'm asking questions.
Old screen door is one thing. It's already ruined, but like, I mean, I'm putting this back up and we're gonna put some wheels on it. That way, the next time we have a barn tour, people won't be asking me, what's that? I can show him. We'll find some wheels. If it is a Loudon, I can find those pulley wheels on eBay. You can find everything on eBay.
That's true.
There you go. Yeah, we'll clean it up and see if we can't figure it out. But that's where we're at.
How long do you think it is?
That's a good question. By the looks of it, I'd say maybe 6 feet. But you know, one of the things that I was able to demonstrate that people were asking about when they came here because they saw our video, lick lift, tape measure, and well, I don't always use a laser. I could use a regular, but it is exactly 6 feet. Well, I guess that's going to about do it for this week's video. The sun's going down and, well, the fireworks are about to begin. And so I want to thank everybody for stopping by. And, well, we'll be back here at the house next Saturday and getting back to work now that all that's behind us. And hopefully we can finish that back kitchen staircase.
What about the bathroom?
And then we'll move on to the bathroom.
What about the half bath?
And then we'll finish the half bath.
What about the ballroom?
Say goodnight, Kendra.
Good night, Kendra.